This is the After Party, live with Kim McAllister. Pick a couch, grab a drink, and settle into the conversation.
Be live on a Monday. Ooh, I'm little in the corner. I kind of like it like that. Tiny little Kim in the corner. Hey, everybody. It is the After Party Live, that the program that we all use, Mark Thompson, Nikki Maduro, and myself, is called StreamYard, and they have all these new things on StreamYard. Oh, now I'm frozen, it looks like. They have all these new things in StreamYard that they just put up, and then all of them are breaking the system. So there you go. This is one of the new demo scenes, one of the new camera shots that they have on StreamYard. And unfortunately, I didn't end up in a good way, did I? Wow. Let me see if I can't. Now I can't add myself to the stage, so I don't know what's going on. Hold on. Let me reconnect. I don't know what's going on with my StreamYard. Hopefully you can still hear me because I can still see my picture on the screen. I'm telling you, StreamYard, last week we had a problem where every time we showed some type of picture or video, it was seen as just a black screen on YouTube. You couldn't see what we were trying to show you. And now I'm getting a little bit of problems with the freezing camera and the different camera angles. So that's interesting. Yeah, there we go. Let's see if this helps. I don't know if it will or not, but I'm trying. Nope, it won't help. Okay, I think I fixed the problem. Oh, StreamYard's killing me right now. I don't know. You sound, but a black screen is what you had. Yeah, I don't know. StreamYard seems to now. Hopefully, caves at night. Sounds Blue Spark. It is hiding your cave Monday. Maybe that's where I was. Maybe I should do the show from a black screen or from a cave-like background on Mondays. I don't know. Breaking news. News is broken. Breaking news is broken. Yeah. Thank goodness. Yeah, I don't know. It's not like you have more than one person like on the Mark Thompson show where you can, kind of juggle each other and come in and out of the shot when things break. Yeah. Phew. Dan says I'm good now. All right. Well, crisis averted. Thanks a lot, StreamYard. When everything fails, click all the buttons. That's kind of what I did. I was clicking away. I'm telling you guys, thank you for being here. I saw we have and of course everything falls apart the very first time Rod comes through the show. Rod, thank you for checking in on the After Party Live, following the Mark Thompson show. Non-political. We do no politics. It's like a palate cleanser, away, like post yoga. It's like a cool down. That's kind of this show. Wacky stories, science stories, health stories, do a lot of health, right? And just things that are interesting, but that might not spike your blood pressure. That's the After Party Live. Thank you for being here. Click subscribe, and please do, because I think we're almost at, what is it now? 2,440 was at last check. So slowly on the way to 2,500. And thank you for clicking subscribe and clicking like. Really appreciate that. All right. The show is crowdfunded. Please find the PayPal information in the show description and in the About tab. It's the only time I'll mention it unless someone contributes, and I would like to say thank you to that. But thank you for PayPaling, and everyone whose monthly subscriptions came in through the weekend. I really appreciate that. All right. Let's get to some of these stories. Noah Fidian says, I wonder how long we'll be able to keep politics out of here. I'm going to try. I mean, sometimes it kind of seeps in, but I'm really going to try, right? Yeah. Hello, Kim, and thank you. I was too late. Oh, too late for what? You're never too late for the after party. Come on, let's be here. Yeah, you can say it in the chat, but I'll just try not to bring it into the show. All right, so let's do it. Let's get to some of the stories that I have set aside for you on this Hide in Your Cave Monday. We're going to do caves in Michigan today because I found some cool ice caves that I thought we could look at. But first, how about this story? You ever been to a comedy show Part of the whole beauty of a comedy show is the interaction between the comedian and the crowd. Well, if you're all Botoxed up and you have no ability to have a facial expression, I guess it can become a problem. So I don't know if this is a way to get attention or uh, just a stunt, a PR stunt, because it kind of seems like that. But there's the owner of a London comedy club announcing that he is banning audience members with Botox injections because performers at this comedy club are complaining about the unresponsive faces in the crowd. Could it be they're not funny? Or is it really people all Botoxed up, unable to laugh, wrinkle their eyes, raise their eyebrows, whatnot? The comedy club in London is called Top Secret Comedy Club. The owner's name is Mark Rothman. And he says he's got two venues, and they are deciding that they will not allow people with Botox injections to be in the audience for the comedy shows. And here's the quote from him. I've had numerous complaints from performers who find it increasingly challenging to gauge audience engagement and bounce off of their reactions. Comedy, he said, thrives on connection, and facial expressions play a huge part in that. We want people to laugh, cry, frown, sneer, but frozen faces from Botox impact the entire atmosphere. So, how will they figure out who's who? The audience members will be submitted to an expression check at the front door to ensure their faces are able to move before they're allowed to be admitted into the venue. Can you imagine? Okay, we need to check your ID. Can you smile for me, please? Can you lift your eyebrows? Can you frown? Can you make a surprised face? He said, we hope that trialing this ban will help move the needle and get facial reactions back into the room for the benefit of our comedians and for the benefit of the audience. Really? I mean, what does it I mean, I think comedians should be good at this point at doing their comedy to no one at all. I love that there's laughs and reactions, and that's great. But after COVID, when comedians had to do their sets online to no one, they should be good at it. And they should be good at having confidence that their material is funny. Sometimes funny things don't land just for whatever reason, the feel of the room, what have you. But it shouldn't matter if half the room is Botoxed up. Come on. Do your thing, be confident, and move on. Am I wrong? Or is it all about in comedy, if you're getting laughs, changing things up, if you're getting reactions, facial reactions, you know that you have to switch a different way? I don't know. I'm going to you guys in the chat, see what you have to say about all this. Stay strong, says Rhonda. Protect the weak and create laughter. Yeah. Um, so interesting. Heather says the frozen face thing is largely a myth. Most people who get Botox can still show expressions and emotions. Maybe you have to be like way Botoxed up for that to happen. I don't know. Tammy says there should be a Botox comedy club. Nullifidian said Kimmel says there was an earthquake in Southern California and everyone was so Botoxed that no body parts jiggled. Oh no. Yeah, it's hard to think it is. This club must be in a really fancy area, says Mama. Nah, I don't know. I just thought that was funny. In a weird way. Can we move to the Eaglet? Because we've been checking in on these Eaglets in Big Bear. And over the weekend, look what we got. A third baby eagle. Look at that little Eaglet. He's trying to lift his neck. He's struggling a little bit. But so far, 3 living eaglets after last year's 3 eggs in the Big Bear cam failed to hatch, failed to thrive. Now we have 3 new bald eagles in the world, and they're still in the nest, surrounded by snow. Jackie and Shadow are the parents. They had some rough years with no chicks. And now they had 3 little hatchlings. The third one arrived a couple days after the other 2 on, at 6 in the morning Pacific time on March 8th. So that would be Saturday morning. The third pip. Yeah, just a few days after the older siblings emerged from their shells. And it's still exciting to watch that live cam. They had a very mm, kind of tense moment over the weekend where one of the eaglets kind of got caught up on, I think it was the mom, could have been the dad's feathers or leg underneath, and was kind of dragged to the edge of the nest and then managed to roll back in. So that was scary. We had almost lost one of them, but all 3 of the eaglets seem to be doing really well. Look how cute. Adorable. There's a video I have to show you of bears in Santa Rosa. We've known for a while that they've been around, at least since 2016, and now they've been caught on this wildlife cam. And the camera's kind of weird because it's a little bit, grainy, kind of slow. But there's female black bear and her cubs walking in Santa Rosa. Check that out. Yes. Oops. You're looking right at the wildlife camera. Mhm. Yep. This was at Hood Mountain Park and Reserve in Santa Rosa. They were caught on this wildlife cam, and here we go. So just more evidence that this is going on in Santa Rosa. The video and the article come from SF Gate. Yeah. See, look at that. Black bears in Santa Rosa. That's what it's all about. There's a new truck coming out of California as well. It's kind of a strange little electric truck. Take a look at it. I mean, it's kind of newfangled, right? It looks a little futuristic. Yeah. This truck, again, from a California company called Telo, Telo, is Telo Trucks. Telo Trucks. It is being unveiled. They've got this as a prototype, and it's called the MT1 electric pickup truck. And it's reconfigurable, and that's why they're calling this truck the future of electric trucks. It can seat up to 8 people, but it's only as long as a Mini Cooper. So I'm thinking it's kind of clown car-ish, right? It's got 4 doors and a length of 152 inches, making it about as long as a Mini Cooper. The standard configuration allows 4 to 5 people to sit in the cab, with about 60 inches devoted to the truck bed. The bed can be converted to create more seating for up to 8 people. The bed can also be expanded into the cabin, sliding the doors under the rear view window. It's designed to use either 1 or 2 electric engines, with the dual engine configuration providing 500 horsepower, 4-wheel drive, and a payload of 1,700 pounds. I have more pictures. Here's what it looks like when it's in its normal configuration mode. Look at like a truck Mini Cooper. 8 people in that? Yeah. Why can't you fit 8 people in a Mini Cooper then? I don't know. So weird. At full charge, this 106 kilowatt hour battery provides a 350-mile range. So that's not bad. They say it's ideal for getting around a city or basic transportation of materials. It can hit 60 miles an hour in less than 4 seconds. So it's got a little vroom vroom. They said we designed the future of utility transportation by maximizing every inch to provide comfort without compromising performance or capability. Telo brings more features, space, and practicality than any other vehicle on the road today, according to Telo. Here's what it looks like inside. Kind of bare bones-ish, right? Not bad. Again, here's what it looks like from the front. It's kind of cute. ish. It's not the rough and tumble truck when you think of, oh, you drive a truck. Yeah, maybe that's not what you think about. The electric motor allows for the expansion of the cab into the hood, creating more space for the backseat passengers who will have the same legroom as those in the front. It also gives the vehicle a profile reminiscent of the Japanese mini truck. The absence of the drive shaft necessary for combustion vehicles allowed the team to develop a storage space underneath the truck bed, accessed from behind the rear doors. They call it the monster tunnel because it actually hides underneath the bed. There's a panel in the truck bed that can be taken off to access the tunnel from the top. And the designers say this feature doubles as a footwell for passengers in the optional third row of seating, which has to be professionally installed. So if you're going to put 8 people in your truck, it's kind of a more permanent reconfiguration. For the interior, the team focused on sustainable materials. They used a biodegradable cork for the surfaces on the doors, the dashboard, and the console, while sustainable fabric was used for the upholstery. Let's go back inside. So I guess the dash, that's cork. The board or the door, that's cork. Interesting. Yeah. The slim vertical highlights on the snubbed hood of the car are being described as a pill-like shape repeated elsewhere in the design, including in the handles and the vents on the side of the truck as well. So, little pills on the front. Um, it's cute. It's interesting. I don't know what I think. What do you think about this thing? This truck is designed to counter the aggressive profile and features of common market pickup trucks. Again, not your rough and tumble truck, right? Designers say clearly the look of pickup trucks has been traditionally aggressive, oversized, with a very large front grille. A number of articles have come out about how dangerous that is, but it also really only speaks to one type of customer. I mean, around here, there's a lot of ranchers. I don't see the little teeny tiny Telo truck out on a ranch. Do you? Hmm. Telo says they hope to contract production out to existing manufacturers rather than building their own facility. That would require a lot of capital. They say they've already received more than 5,000 pre-orders for this electric truck. They're charging only $152. It's length in inches to reserve it. So $150 to reserve it. The going rate for the model is projected to be around $34,000. $34,000 mini truck. Hey, you know. And the images come from Design magazine provided by Telo Trucks. So it's cute. We'll see if that's what people want in a truck. I don't know. It's kind of interesting how configurable it is. You know, how it can kind of be whatever you want it to be. I find it fascinating. Let's move to this. It is Women's History Month. We haven't really talked a lot about that. Um, but I saw this article and I thought, this is really cool. I didn't know this. And so I thought I would share it with you. This from Popular Science, called The Forgotten Story of the Woman Who Invented the Dishwasher. She was a socialite. Her name, Josephine Cochrane. And I don't know, for a socialite, why she would have been worried about doing the dishes. Perhaps she had staff for that. I don't know. But she she was a very interesting lady. She created this Garris Cochrane dishwashing machine. It was the only device at the 1893 World Fair, World Columbian Exposition, designed by a woman. More than 200 dirty dishes could be loaded into this machine's dish rack, which were then transferred inside a box surrounded by pulleys and gears. 2 minutes later, the dishes emerged sparkling clean. 2 minutes, that's it? That sounds better than what we have today. It wasn't just a display. The fair's many restaurants were using it to clean tens of thousands of dishes every day. And this dishwasher, the first dishwasher, it got an award for the best mechanical construction, durability, and adaptation to its line of work. It was called a breakthrough moment for Josephine Garris Cochran. She is the one that would revolutionize the trajectory of the dishwasher. Her maiden name was Garris. She's from Ohio. And she said inventing was in her blood. Her great-grandfather received one of the first patents for the steamboat. Her father, also a civil engineer who operated several mills in Ohio. She was from a prominent family. She was an adventurer. Apparently, she married this adventurer who, I guess, she left her alone for a long time. And yeah, she got married at age 19, common for the time. She was 9 years younger than her husband, and she had this life of leisure. She said she had her own ideas, and she had some sense of independence from her husband, who was off adventuring all the time. So they moved to Illinois. She had servants. She did a lot of entertaining. But she was unhappy that her china kept getting broken when it was being washed by the servants, the horror. So she decided that she would wash it herself. But then she was chipping it, and she thought there has to be a way to automate this task. And if no one else is going to invent a dishwashing machine, then she said, I'll do it myself. So she, her husband died, and she learned that the family's financial situation was pretty bad. He left her with $1,500 and debts that were increasing. So she put all of her time and energy into developing this dishwasher, and she did it. She said she always hoped her machine would alleviate the burden of washing it up that fell to women, but the device was too cost prohibitive for the domestic market. When it comes to buying something for the kitchen that costs $75 or $100, a woman, she said, begins at once to figure out all the other things she could do with that money. She hates dishwashing, what woman does not? But she has learned to think of her time and comfort as worth money. Besides, she wrote, she isn't the deciding factor when it comes to spending comparatively large sums of money for the house. So she turned to hotels and restaurants instead, which is pretty smart. And sold some of these and came up with her Garris Cochran dishwashing company, had some financial backing, and succeeded in bringing the manufacturing of her dishwashers in-house. Then she renamed the business the Crescent Washing Machine Company, opened her own factory. So there you go. Women's History Month. Go get it. Thank you for the dishwasher. Trust me, I use it every day. Before we move on, let me go to Hide in Your Cave Monday, because I do have a couple caves that I want to make sure we get to today. Sometimes you just don't feel like coming out. Although this one might be a little bit chilly Cocoa Pop. This is in Michigan. It's the Eben, E-B-E-N, the Eben Ice Caves in Michigan. Yeah, very cold. They say if you really love Michigan winters, travel to Eben Junction. It is just outside of Marquette. The Rock River Canyon ice caves form when melting snow runs over a small cliff edge and freezes, allowing visitors to climb on and even walk through the ice as they explore. The Eben Ice Caves, they say, are a winter adventure to take. They start freezing up round about December. If you go, they say, plan on being ready for a hike and wear ice cleats, especially if there's been a big storm. The cleats let you walk around inside the caves with sure footing and will keep you from sliding around in there. Here is another one. This is the Grand Island Ice Cave, also in Michigan. It looks kind of similar. Cool. Looks like a frozen pond inside. The Grand Island Ice Caves near Munsing, are quite the sight. Water pouring out of sandstone cliffs freeze into magnificent ice columns that can take on shades of green, blue, and yellow. The ice starts to form mid-December and stays until early April. The ice forms frequently along the pictured rocks above Lake Superior's waters. They say that those locations are difficult to see. From the Sandpoint beaches, you can see on the ice, you can see the ice on the Grand Island cliffs. They say some of the ice formations can be seen along the North Country Trail. You can snowshoe or hike from Munsing Falls to see the ice from the top rather than from the base. They say, though, that due to the undetermined ice thickness, thin and moving ice, concealed underwater currents, and open water, walking on Lake Superior or across Munsing Bay is not recommended. Cool pictures of the Grand Island ice caves, though, in Munising, Michigan. And lastly, this is out at Mackinac. Such a pretty picture. I couldn't not show it to you today. It's called, though, Devil's Kitchen. According to a legend, evil spirits who live in this cave on the southwestern edge of Mackinac Island will eat people that get too close. Fortunately, pardon me, Devil's Kitchen is easily accessible on foot or by bike because it sits right off of a roadway, M185. The entrance to the cave is thought to resemble a human face with its open mouth, and the cave itself is blackened with soot. The color said to have come from the cooking fires of the evil spirits, giving the cave its ominous name. The origins of those stories unknown, but Devil's Kitchen on Mackinac, quite the tourist spot. Look at the lake and the sunset, or rise, as it may be. Beautiful. When you think Michigan, you don't think caves, but I mean, ice caves and Devil's Kitchen. Come on, that's pretty cool. All right, let's get to some other stories because I have one for you that I thought was pretty interesting. And this is, let's do this little cell phone. Look how teeny tiny it is. It's meant to be the size of a credit card. I'm calling it the credit card phone. It's made by a company called Infinix. It's a mini triple folding phone that folds down to the size of a credit card. It's made by a Chinese company, again, called Infinix. And it's a concept for this trifold phone that packs down to the size of a credit card. You can also use it, as you see here, as a clip-on camera. It was displayed as a prototype at this year's Mobile World Congress in Barcelona. They call it the Zero Series Mini Trifold Phone. It bends vertically along two hinges spaced out equally along the device to create three possible modes for its use. It's very handy because you think people at this point don't really carry much but their phone, right? So you're not many people, not me, I still lug my giant purse everywhere I go, but many people, especially young people, all they carry with them is their phone. My 15-year-old, a lip gloss and a phone in her pocket. So if people are using their pockets instead of putting their wallet in their pocket, they're trying to cram their phone in their pocket, then it would make sense that a phone like this that folds down to a smaller size would work better if you're just carrying your phone in a pocket. And they do say that this seems to be more attractive to the younger crowd. If you stretch it out fully, it looks and it functions like a conventional smartphone. While folded, they say, once it makes a mini dual screen device that's practical to attach to gym equipment, to a car dashboard, to bike handles. Here's a picture of that. You can clip it onto your bike handles, use it like a dash cam. There it is. Yeah. So when it's in its smallest size, they say it functions well as a camera. It can be clipped onto a backpack strap for on-the-go recording. It transforms between a smartphone, a hands-free fitness and entertainment companion, and a compact camera. And the designers of the Zero Series mini trifold concept device say it seamlessly uh, unlocks new possibilities for mobility, creativity, and functionality. They say it's not just another foldable, it's a bold reimagination of how technology enhances everyday lives, evolving between different kinds of forms. So they say the foldable smartphones we've seen up until now have expanded basically its larger screen. It's basically you took a larger screen and folded it down. And that's kind of what this is, but that's not what the designers say. They say this one actually enables switching between multiple modes. In its mid-size mode, they envision it being attached securely using a strap accessory to gym equipment for working out, tracking, viewing, or to bike handlebars or a dashboard in your car for navigation. This mode, they say, offers dual screens. Infinix also imagines users holding multilingual conversations where their text or video appears on one side and the translation on the other, using the main camera for selfies and the second screen for framing, avoiding the usual problem of the selfie cam being less powerful. Okay. The demand, they say, for foldable technology is evolving, and young consumers are seeking more than just larger screens. They want devices that seamlessly integrate into their lifestyles, replacing multiple gadgets with a single adaptable solution. And so, the designers of this phone are calling it a visionary glimpse into the future. Okay. If I was on the go a lot and that's all I was taking, perhaps. I'm fine with what I've got. I don't need it. But maybe I'm not their customer. It's interesting, though, that it does so many different things. Should we do the lotto of the day? I think we should. This is from Washington. And a Washington woman said that she was analyzing the habits of lottery winners from a reality TV show. She's from Spokane. Her name is Shannon. She loves that HGTV show, My Lottery Dream Home. Have you seen that? Where lottery winners can go look at these homes and, make all their dreams come true, finally buy their dream home. She said she started paying attention to the stories of the winners featured in the series. She said the show happens to profile a lot of people who win playing $10 scratch games. So she said, I figured that should be the type of ticket I buy. There was a sparkly new $10 ticket, she said. It caught my eye. That's the one I bought. Turned out, I picked right, she said. So she bought a pair of diamond crossword tickets from a lottery vending machine at a Walmart in Spokane. At first, she said, I counted 10 complete words, which is $1,000 prize, and that's pretty cool. She said, since the most I'd ever won before is maybe $150. And then she said, I kept looking and I found an 11th word. That meant the prize was worth $5,000. And she said, I was so excited that I called my husband and we planned to celebrate later that night with a nice dinner. She said it wasn't until a clerk at her local Safeway store scanned the ticket that she discovered she'd missed some words and actually she won $250,000. He didn't actually say the amount out loud, she said. I just put the ticket and slip in my purse and drove off. And it wasn't until I got to the mall and walked into the lottery store that I looked at the slip. There's a lottery store? That I looked at the slip and nearly fainted when I saw that it said $250,000 on it. She said, I guess that 12th word was somewhere on the ticket after all. She and her husband were already in the market for a new house, and she says the big prize will allow her to buy a dream home of her own. I wonder if she'll be on the HGTV series My Lottery Dream Home next. You know, gotta love someone who has big dreams and listens. How did they do it? How did they get it done? Uh, okay, so let me go back because I wanted to tell you that they're swapping out the International Space Station crew. Here's the new crew. They're headed up to space. They arrive in Florida in preparation of their launch aboard SpaceX. that'll carry them to the International Space Station and at the launch pad at NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida. It's the Crew Dragon Endurance spacecraft, scheduled to launch no earlier than March 12th, so just a couple of days. It'll shuttle the Crew 10 astronauts aboard a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket. The arrival of the module at the Florida launch pad signifies progress for SpaceX. They've had some delays in getting this thing ready for launch. NASA astronauts Anne McClain, Nicole Ayers, Japanese Aerospace Exploration Agency astronaut Takuya Onishi, and Roscosmos Krylev Peskov, cosmonaut, will be on board. They are scheduled to be in space for at least 6 months, and they replace the Crew 9 astronauts, including Sonny Williams and Butch Wilmore, who arrived at the station in June for a 10-day stay, but then had to stay aboard when the Boeing Starliner they were supposed to come home on was deemed too unsafe to bring them back to Earth. So, Crew 10 scheduled to perform research, technology demonstrations, and maintenance activities aboard the microgravity lab. The Crew Dragon Endurance will stay docked for about a week before it brings the Crew 9 astronauts home. And there we go. Little presto changeo switcheroo at the International Space Station. Should we talk about these clay dolls? Let's end with this one today. They're a little creepy, but they really tell a story. The story from Smithsonian Magazine. Archaeologists have unearthed these ancient clay puppets with open mouths and detachable heads, and they think these were dolls. These figurines were discovered in a largely unexcavated site in El Salvador. About 2,400 years ago, they were made and controlled by strings that passed through their necks. Okay, that's pretty advanced for 2,400 years ago. These clay puppets were found at this archaeological site in El Salvador. They are fine carved figurines, and two archaeologists from the University of Warsaw, Poland, discovered them atop a ruined pyramid in El Salvador at the site of San Isidro. They've written a new study. They published it in the journal Antiquity. The items are called Bolinas figurines. They're these rare puppet-like artifacts that have been found in other ancient Central American sites as well. The early Maya site in Guatemala, I'm sorry if I mispronounce it, Alik Abaj is what it's called. They were found there as well. All of the recently discovered Bolinas figurines have open mouths. The two smallest puppets measure about 4 inches and 7 inches. The other three, there's 5, stand at about a foot tall. That's the ones you're seeing now. These larger figurines have detachable heads and small holes in their necks and craniums. The researchers said that allowed for a string to be passed through the neck and tied on top of the head. Here's a picture of the detachable heads and the holes. You can see there's a hole for the neck fitting and then a space for a tie at the top of the head there. Kind of cool. They are clay actors. When you hold them in your hand, sometimes they even look creepy because of their vivid expressions, depending on the angle at which one views them. You shift your gaze just a little bit, and it seems like, oh, this thing almost moved. There's a face. I could see where that would be a little creepy. They said compared with neighboring countries, El Salvador's pre-Columbian history isn't very well understood. The excavations are challenging because of the country's high population density, volcanic eruptions over thousands of years that have damaged and buried archaeological sites. So, because of that, very little is known about the identities and ethno-linguistic affiliations of the creators of ancient settlements here. She said it gets worse the further back in time that we look. So the site at San Isidro is pretty exciting because of that. It's mostly a complex of clay structures built by an unknown group. It remains largely unexcavated. These researchers found these figurines while digging at the top of the site's largest pyramid structure. They figured out how old they were through carbon dating. The second such group found in this area, and the first to feature a male figure as well. The male puppet sports what appears to be facial tattoos. The other four are female. You can kind of see. They really do have some, they're not anatomically graphic, but you can tell who's who there, right? Yeah, they were accurate, right? The researchers say in Mesoamerican thought, still visible today, to create something was to actually create it. So if a ruler decided to commission a sculpture himself, he was effectively cloning himself, allowing himself to look over his people, even when he was away. And the researchers say the idea that these artifacts are puppets is really provocative. That figurines like that could speak during performances may shed light on whose voices mattered in that era of political power. There have been figurines like this found in Guatemala and elsewhere in El Salvador. There were jade pendants that they found nearby that resembled similar artifacts discovered in present-day Nicaragua, Panama, Costa Rica. And so the ancient inhabitants of San Isidro may have been connected to those other people. We don't know. But what they do know is that these clay puppets or dolls reveal the existence of a vibrant, far-reaching community capable of exchanging ideas to distant places. That's cool. Is it just me, or are you into it too? Because I am. All right, let's end with this one. We talked about cell phones. Let's talk about laptops. The laptop that I have and that I only use for the video camera, which I know some people hate my video camera. I like being a little fuzzy, so it's fine with me. Just like I like being the little square on Mark's show. The Lenovo has been a little buggy. It's not the best computer, but it's fine for what I need it for. This is Lenovo, and they have a new computer that is solar powered. You can kind of see the solar panels on the back of this computer. Kind of an interesting development what they're doing with this solar laptop. You never have to plug it in. You never have to worry about powering it at all. This Chinese brand Lenovo revealing the prototype of they say it's the world's first ultra slim solar powered PC. Looks like a regular laptop, totally runs on energy from the sun. So they say that they've swapped out the laptop's usual panel for edge-to-edge solar cells. It's automatic. The solar energy from the cells supplements the power from the laptop's charger and results in a device that could potentially run for a long time without needing to be plugged in. They say they have this proof of concept design that can absorb and convert enough direct sunlight in 20 minutes to power up to 1 hour of video playback. It's slim, and they say that adds to its functionality. It remains similar in size to their current yoga laptop line. The panel, they say, has a very high conversion rate, a measure of efficiency that reflects the percentage of sunlight into the panel and converts it into usable electric energy. At 24%, that's what the rating is. They say it makes the Yoga Solar PC's panel among the most efficient commercially available today. They used back contact solar cell technology, so the conductive grid lines and mounting brackets are moved to the back of the cell, freeing the front surface from obstructions. The laptop has solar first energy systems, so it will automatically adjust the charger settings to prioritize using solar energy as it is harvested. Works in low light conditions like indoors, using ambient light to form a window or artificial light will only provide limited power for it, just enough to maybe sustain the battery level in idle mode. It's getting positive feedback from some people that are testing it out. Yeah, they basically stuck a solar panel onto a laptop lid, and there you go. So, I mean, it's a great concept. The solar laptop from Lenovo. Again, a prototype. I don't know when we're going to see it come out, but that's what we've got so far. Let me do this last. I just want to mention this story. This is Harper Lee, who wrote To Kill a Mockingbird. And upon her death, they found some short stories. They've never been seen by the public before. She died in 2016, and the typescripts of her early fiction were discovered in her apartment in New York. It supposedly offers insight into her creative development. So, years before she published To Kill a Mockingbird and rose to international fame, she was writing in literary journals and magazines, or trying to, and a lot of her attempts were rejected. And scholars thought that all of that work was lost, but it wasn't. The executor of her estate discovered these short stories stashed in her apartment, and readers are going to have the chance to get a look at 8 of her early short stories, along with another 8 nonfiction pieces previously published elsewhere, in what this new forthcoming collection is called The Land of Sweet Forever: Stories and Essays, Harper Lee. It's going to be published in October of 2025 by publishing house HarperCollins. And again, it'll be called The Land of Sweet Forever: Stories and Essays, Harper Lee. So, I have from beyond the grave. All right, that is the After Party Live on a Monday. Tomorrow is Travel Tuesday. If you have any suggestions for where we should virtually go together, please email me, kim@theafterparty.live. I saw Luis pop through with a $5 contribution to the show. The After Party Live is my daily lotto, a jackpot of fun and friendship. Oh, Luis, you always say the sweetest things. Mahalo, Kim. Mahalo to you. Thank you for that. I really appreciate it very, very much. Thank you to everyone who contributes to this show. I saw a lot of contributions come in last night via PayPal. The monthly contributions pop through during the overnight hour. So sometimes I see one and I say to myself, "Oh, thank you," to whoever popped through. Last night, I'll tell you, I had a contribution from Deidre. One popped through from Harold, one from Chris H, one from Susan S, one from Kathy O came through. So thank you guys very much. Appreciate it. Find the PayPal information in the After Party Live show description every day and in the About tab as well. All right, I'll see you tomorrow on the Mark Thompson Show, 11 a.m. Some great guests coming through again tomorrow. Don't want to miss it. And then I'll see you on the after party right after that show ends. But until then, make it the very best Monday you can. If you need to hide in your cave, visualize ice today, right? All right, everyone. Bye-bye.
The After Party Live would like to thank the following contributors and viewers like you.